Hi everyone, this is Ekaterina, and in this channel I'm documenting my journey of becoming a counselor. First of all, I would like to apologize to my viewers, as I know there has been a bit of a gap in my videos, and even though last time I've mentioned that I was moving houses in February and I expected some delays, but I certainly haven't anticipated all the things that went wrong. And we didn't have internet for a whole month. There was lots of things that didn't go according to the plan, and in fact we're still in the middle of the construction, so many of the rooms are not ready. I'm recording this in the bedroom. It's not the greatest setting, so apologize for the boring background. So hopefully very soon I will be recording my videos in my own office, but until then, nonetheless, I just thought it's time to get back to this channel. It's been too long. And on the good side, I've been still going to the college, so I haven't missed a single class, and I have a lot of material that I'm excited to cover with you guys. So look forward to the upcoming videos, as we'll be covering the Unit 3 of the Level 2 Certificate of the Counselling Skills and talking about ethics in counselling professions. And I'll also actually like to thank the new viewers, the ones who've joined my channel, because again, even though there hasn't been much activity in my channel, it was still great to see some people were finding my videos, enjoying them, and actually joining the channel. So welcome, and I hope you will continue enjoying them. So now let's go to the new topic, the ethics. And I would say personally, when this topic came up in our class, initially I was a bit concerned. And it's not so much that I think that I discriminate people or like to use labeling or use stereotypes in my day-to-day life. Perhaps I also was a bit naive about how much I was not using them. But most importantly, the thing that I was mostly concerned about is the fact that nowadays lots of things linked to ethics are changing, and they're changing very quickly. So some of the things that were all right to say or do even a couple of years ago, now we understand that they're actually not right. They almost became a taboo topic. And certainly with the information becoming more available to everyone through the internet and media, again, we are just becoming more aware of all the differences there are and all the different beliefs and values people can have. So we need to be very adaptable, and I think sometimes I found it myself that this is a bit difficult to always quickly adapt to the changes, just because of the number of changes happening constantly. So this is something I was worried about with regards to what if in the future I have a client coming to me and they're talking about the topic that I have no idea about. And obviously the good thing about counseling is that you're not expected to have an opinion about every single topic that the client is wishing to discuss in the counseling sessions, but nonetheless you should have at least a basic understanding. And in case the client is coming to you with something completely new, then I think the counselor should be honest and perhaps ask questions from the client so that they understand the topic better. And then once the session is over, they go home and they do their research, so that next time they see that client, they are much more in that topic. So I think after having some discussion with my teacher and the student, I was a bit calmer, but certainly I think as we will go through this study program, so another at least 3.5 years to go, I will cover many of the topics I might face in the real counseling kind of profession. And for those of you who don't really know what ethics means, so this word comes from a Greek word ethos, and it can be translated in different ways, but mostly it's translated as a custom, character, behavior. And we should really think of it as a system of moral principles that affect how we behave in our life, what sort of decisions we make, and, well, generally how we lead our lives. most importantly, ethics are concerned with what is most right for individual and the society. And I think this emphasis on the word right is really important here. So during the class we were shown a short video. I'll add the link as always for you. So it's exactly the same video I watched just a few weeks ago. And in this video they explain the ethics a little bit more into details, but also they give you an interesting example of so-called ethical dilemma. And for me it was definitely interesting because I had very similar experience in the past. So while watching this video I did think that maybe what I did in the past wasn't really right. So the scenario they give you is that a friend of yours, very close friend, comes to you one day and they confess that they've been feeling very much depressed, and for that reason they've been self-isolating. They didn't feel like interacting with friends or going to the events, and that made them feel even more down. So now as a friend probably you have multiple choices of what could you do, but most importantly I would say you probably think either you should keep that secret because that person came to you specifically, and while you're still keeping the secret you will still try to maybe support them in some way, or especially if you have a close circle of friends who have also been ignoring that person because, well, they were not out as much, they were not interacting with them, you might consider the chance of perhaps I should tell our close friends or even hint to them that they should be careful with this person, more mindful of perhaps things they are not aware of. So there's this kind of question of what is right in this situation, whether you want to just help that person by yourself or whether you want to also make sure other people are aware of that person's situations and therefore also are considered of him or her. And I would say when we're discussing those dilemmas in the class, certainly all the students agreed on one important point, and it's the fact that we were all lacking counseling experience. Well, that's true. If you're just starting to study, you don't have that experience. And for that reason, we were not really certain that we were coming with the most ethical decisions. So we were doing the things or deciding how we would proceed based on our personal experience from the interaction with our friends, family members, co-workers, neighbors, but not with clients. And certainly that brings us to another point, the fact that when we are interacting with a client, and especially we have a signed confidentiality contract with that client, then that interaction is definitely different from the interaction we're used to. And it's not, kind of bad in any way. It's actually can be really good for some individuals. And some of the viewers who watched my earlier videos where I shared my previous experience of actually doing counseling, at the time I've remarked that I felt a very distinct difference between my interaction with the counselor and versus interaction with my family members or my very best friend. And at the time, that difference really helped me to actually resolve some of the issues I had, because the counselor was really non-judgmental, there was no emotion, there was no opinions, no kind of suggestions of what I should do or not do. And they really let me just explore the topics and come up with my own decisions that worked the best for me, so my own solutions. And I would say, even during this first class in the ethics topic, again, I felt that maybe that's the difference between the interaction with friends and counselor, the fact that you do need to be not just thinking, what would I do, but what is the right decision for that person? What is the best solution for that person? So in the end, we did agree that in this particular case, in this particular example, the best solution would be to preserve that secret that your friend has shared with you, and definitely try to support them, and perhaps the only reason why you would do otherwise is if they've openly confessed to you that they were about to commit suicide or even harm somebody else. So certainly then the behavior would be different from our side. And certainly we've then discussed some other dilemmas that were available in our workbook, and again, in most of the cases we just realized we need that experience, the counseling experience, to make the best decisions. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I apologize, this is a bit shorter than usual, but anyway, it is just kind of a slow start back in this channel. And next week we'll be talking about the Code of Practice for Counsellors. It's a document created by BACP, the British Association of Counsellors and Psychotherapists. So I'll be covering that more into details, and why is it so important for the counsellors to actually have some sort of code of practice. So once again, thank you very much for watching my videos, following this channel. Please remember to leave your comments, like the video if you did, share it with your friends, and most importantly, take good care of yourself. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.